Edgar Cayce's John 14 verse 26. Part 2. But the Comforter, which is the Holy Ghost, whom the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things, and bring all things to your remembrance, whatsoever I have said unto you. I will bring to you remembrance of those things from the beginning, that where I am, there ye may be also. If ye will keep my commandments, in thine activities to thy fellow man, I will bring to thy remembrance those things necessary for the assurance that I will abide with thee. Find self first. Know the Lord is within, and as he hath given thee. When ye abide in me, I will bring to thy remembrance all things from the beginning of the world. If ye will seek me, ye may find me, and I will not leave thee comfortless. But if ye are righteous in purpose, in intent, in desire, I will bring all things to thine remembrance, that are needs be for thy soul, thine mind, thine body, development. This is a promise from him, who is able to fulfill that which has been promised to every soul that seeks his face, his ways. In him is the light. Understandest thou that I will bring to remembrance those things that will give thee the answer to the questions that arise in thy experience, in all of thine undertakings for me? Let him that is the light, that has promised to bring to each and every entity, to each and every soul that understanding as from the beginning, be the guide. For, as he has given, I will bring to thy remembrance that necessary for thyself through me to be the greater channel of blessings to thy fellow man. Hold fast to Christ in God, and ye in him. For as he has given, as ye abide in me, so may there be brought to your remembrance that necessary for thy soul development, from the foundations of the earth. For if the Lord is one, and ye are one with him, then it is as the current runs. Or thy oneness with him, as to the extent of thy ability to guide, direct, or to encourage those who are weak or lost in confusion of the times. Then with same, as in directing, will be healing. Ye abide in me as I abide in the Father, and I will bring to your remembrance those things from the foundations of the earth, from the foundations of the world, that ye may be where I am. And thy glory and my glory, in thy God, shall make of thee that oneness that passeth understanding of men who see only a mental material consciousness. For the mind is the builder. It is spiritual, it is material. Ye control same through that ye build and same through thine dwelling upon, thine feeding upon, in thine mental self. Of self-exaltation or of the glorifying of the God in thee through him that maketh thee as one with him. As to the experiences in the earth, these have been many and quite varied. Many of these are not well even to be known to self, and thus have they been blotted from the book of thy remembrance, even as he blots them from the book of God's remembrance, if ye love one another, if ye meet to thy fellow man, yea, to thy sisters in all walks of experience, that love of which ye are capable in thine self. For he who hath loved much, to that one may much be given. Study first to show thyself approved unto thy ideals, as may be said in him. Knowing it is his promise to thee and to each soul that comes in a unison or unified activity with the purposes presented by him, that there will be brought to thy remembrance those things necessary, or those things that ye apply day by day. Have ye used thy memory as a creative thing? Only that which is creative grows. Thy memory, remember, is as the way has given. If ye apply thyself, I will bring to thy remembrance all things since the foundation of the world. What is lacking? It is thine own coordinating of thy mind, thy body, thy sole purpose to the first cause, the first principle, love. For God so loved the world that he gave his own Son, that ye, as an individual, might have access to the Father. Have ye chosen that spiritual ideal? Are the things in thine own life measured by that ideal? Are there the continued efforts on thy part to put into practice, or to count as worthy of self being of same, will they make the ideal that as is one with him? The promise is, as was given of him. For I will bring to remembrance all things whatsoever has been my part with you, for in such manifestations is my Father glorified in you. For his promises have been, to bring to the remembrance of those who love him, the knowledge that needs be, for the souls, to manifest in the material plane, that needed, for not only their own development, but for the very joy and hope and life for the others, that such will aid, in their activities, through this material experience. Sufficient to the day is the evil, or the good thereof. Putting rather in practice that as is known in the present is sufficient to make the growth attain that as may be even greater manifested in the present. For that as experience in the various spheres of activity is as the background and the staying forces, that through faith, through the promise, all things are brought to remembrance in thy spiritual activity. Take that thou hast in hand, that thou hast builded day by day, and without fear open the door that he may come in and abide with thee. For he that takes my yoke upon him and learns of me, with him will I abide day by day, and all things will be brought to remembrance that I have given thee since the foundations of the world. For thou wert with me in the beginning, and thou may abide with me in that day when the earth will be rolled as the scroll. For the heavens and the earth will pass away, but my word shall not pass away. The promises in him are sure, the way ye know. Take their positions, their place, see as by the light of his presence the needs of the inner man, and so present that he gives thee day by day. Thus, as he has given, may we find ourselves happily in his presence. 4. I will not leave thee comfortless, but will come to thee, and bring to remembrance that necessary of my strength to meet the needs of the hour, of the day. When ye abide in his presence, though there may come the trials of every kind, though the tears may flow from the breaking up of the carnal forces within self, the spirit is made glad. Even as he in the hour of trial, the hour of denial, smiled upon him and brought to remembrance, even as he has said to each that has named the name. I will bring to remembrance the promises I have made, if ye will abide in my presence. Am I psychic? If so, how may I develop so that I can be of the greater use? Every soul is psychic, and the entity is above the ordinary from the experience. The abilities have been used erringly. Turn them to the light. Let the light of the truth guide thee, as in his promises that I will abide with thee and bring to thy remembrance all things from the beginning. Then meditate upon that the Lord thy God, thy Christ, would have thee do. Let thy prayer day by day be, Here am I, Lord. Purge thou me from all unrighteousness. Make me a greater channel of blessings to everyone day by day, not my will but thine, O Lord, be done in and through me. What causes and what should be done to overcome unsatisfactory memory? As ye apply self in analyzing thy purposes and thy aims, much will come back to thee, in the way of memory. For remember, this is as all gifts of the Spirit. For as he hath given, If ye love me and keep my commandments, I am with thee, and will bring to thy remembrance all things from the foundation of the world. This is not beyond the mind of this entity. Apply daily that ye desire to remember, and ye will grow in memory. For it must come first in spirit, then in mind, then materialize. For it is the natural law. When you rely upon those forces of the divine, offering thyself as a channel to be used unto the glory of God and for the benefit spiritually of thy fellow man, as he hath given, I will bring to thy remembrance all things from the foundations of the world. Thus it is not from without, but it is within thyself that ye may meet him. For thy body is indeed the temple of the living God. There he has promised to meet thee, just as sincerely as ye seek. though knowledge without understanding may become sin as it was in thy misapplication in the experiences when it was brought into destructive forces. That ideal which is held before self is the ideal that should be the ideal of all. All must come to the knowledge of the glory of the Father through the Son, that may manifest in the activities of individuals and their relationships one with another. And his promises are sure, for I will not leave thee comfortless, but will come to thee in all thou doest, wilt thou keep me in remembrance before thy brethren. Believe in me, abide in me, and I will bring to thine remembrance all necessary that ye may know the way. His words are true. Hold fast to that thou hast set in thine heart as concerning him. For he has promised to come to thee, to all who seek, who live, who act in such a manner that his presence is acceptable to those who seek. The entity passes along those stages that some have seen as planes, some have seen as steps, some have seen as cycles, and some have experienced as places. How far? How far is tomorrow to any soul? How far is yesterday from thy consciousness? You are insane, that is, all time as one time, yet become gradually aware of it, passing through, then, as it were, God's record or book of consciousness or of remembrance. For meeting being measured out as it were to that to which thou hast attained. That the experiences of the soul in each appearance or activity in the earth, then, makes for either the stepping stones or the stumbling stones, is as is shown in the book of remembrance. Then, that ye may be a light in his name, that ye may become one with him by giving to others that hope, that faith, by those activities to them that may bring a brighter and brighter outlook, and more adaptable for the companionship with, the work with, that creative force.